So like I said earlier, hi everybody. My name's Lauren Wyand. I'm the M2 class president of the Northwest campus. We're super excited to have you guys. My group in Fayetteville is so excited to meet all of you, and I feel like that's just kind of the most important thing I can share with you guys today. Like I said a little bit ago, I'm gonna have my contact info at the end, so feel free to reach out with literally any questions you have, either today or just before August rolls around. I know at the beginning it feels like there's a lot of unknowns. Most of those questions will get answered just with time. But if there's anything that you need, yeah, feel free to reach out. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I have some really informal slides just to kind of go through. So the point of this Zoom today is just to kind of go through kind of where you go. Uh, Honestly, I know most people from the Fayetteville campus have some sort of connection to Northwest Arkansas. It kind of seems to be a theme, but not everybody does. So I just want to share just some tips and tricks. Yeah, uh, Fayetteville and Northwest Arkansas in general is very different than like a lot of other areas. It's very all connected. So I'll reference Fayetteville a lot, but honestly, just the region in general is pretty connected. So. Um, First off, this is my class. So this is the current M2s, or most of us. I think we're missing a couple people here. But one of the many perks of the Northwest campus, as you guys probably already know by now, is the small class size. So my class has 21. I think we're the biggest class. We all really get along. Genuinely 20 of my closest friends. And I hope that you guys feel the same in a couple weeks. One of the great things is just genuinely the tight-knit campus community. I'm great friends with a lot of upperclassmen, and they are great mentors, and we hope to be the same for you guys. There's very easy parking, so I'm not sure how familiar you all are with the Little Rock campus, but parking can be a little bit of a hassle over there. I'm actually here in the Little Rock campus this summer, so I'm experiencing it for the first time. Because in our campus, you can park about 10 to 20 feet from the door and just walk on in. So that's another one of the many perks. There's a lot of on-campus study spaces that I will be happy to show you all when we are in person soon. Um, yeah, a lot of options upstairs near resident lounges. Downstairs, we have a great library with a lot of windows. And then we do anatomy lab with plastinated cadavers. They're a really cool tool to see the human body kind of as it is alive almost. Everything is painted. It's honestly beautiful, but a great tool as well to learn. You can see just that we have multiple that are at a different layer. So some are more superficial and others are a little bit more deep. One is almost just the skeleton with just really deep structures on it. So that's really cool. We have several heads and hearts and like smaller models as well to see. So that's a really great learning tool. We also have the spectrum table. That has I don't know how many patients. I want to say it's close to 200 patients. Like CT images, MRI images, you can just swipe through, and it's a huge, basically TV touchscreen. So a great way to learn. We have a VR headset that goes along with that. So you can see the depths of the human body, all the imaging tools. It's a really great way to learn. And then again, because of that really small campus, we have really great relationships with the faculty. In this picture, it's really hard to tell, but they're behind me. I'm towards the left. There's a hallway of all of our faculty, and they have a great open door policy. Dr. Spallin's actually moving to Little Rock this next year, but his office was at the end of the hall, and I like just would walk in and ask him if he had a minute, and he was like, "Of course, yeah, what's up, Lauren?" Um, so very open door policy. Dr. Jensen is another one of our great faculty. She's in charge of research for our campus. And again, total open door policy. I email and call her actually all the time, but also could just walk down to her office and just sit down and ask her basically any question I think I could have. So that's a great perk. And of course, the faculty are great in Little Rock too, but it's just hard to beat having everybody just right there, knowing your name and things like that. So yeah, we're excited to have you guys join us. Let's see if I can. Okay, next. This is just kind of a general idea of where a lot of students live. So the campus is in Fayetteville. So if you live in Fayetteville, you're going to be the closest with like a 5 to 15 minute drive. But people also live in Farmington, Johnson, Springdale, Rogers, and Bentonville. Honestly, a lot of my class lives in Bentonville. I think that's where they were originally from, and either didn't want to move when they got in or have moved in with like family or things like that. I live in Rogers, so my commute's about 30 minutes, but it's all on the interstate, and that's just kind of what you do in Northwest Arkansas, honestly. Um, I feel like if we were in other big cities, most people probably wouldn't blink an eye at a 30-minute commute, and they'd probably be living in the same city as the hospital. So, yeah, it's not a big deal. There are a lot of housing options in Fayetteville specifically because it's also a college town. So if you're looking for apartments, that's probably a great place to start. But then, yeah, Farmington and Johnson are a little bit more residential communities. So they have, I have some friends that live there, and have like a rental house, and they like several of them will live there together with roommates. That's really just what you want to do. Yeah. So, some housing options and ideas. I will be honest, I don't live in any of these, but when I was making these slides, I felt a little unprepared on the housing market in Northwest Arkansas. So I actually reached out to several of my classmates and they helped me come up with this list. So that being said, if you guys have any questions about this, if you ask me, I might not know the answer, but I do know who will. So, some really common student housing. I believe these are all apartment options in Fayetteville, but Hill Place is one. South Yard Lofts is another, the Union, the Landing, Light Bearers. The Links is an option in basically every city. They have apartment complexes everywhere. The Fresco and then Aspen Heights. So, and then like I said earlier, other popular areas are going to include Farmington, Rogers, Springdale. Weddington Corridor is just kind of on the other side of Fayetteville, but there's a lot of housing option there too. And then kind of like I said on the last slide, most students do have not like a long commute, but a decent commute. So driving is just kind of something that you get used to in Northwest Arkansas because it's all really interconnected. And then yeah, parking is easing on campus, so that really shouldn't be a hindrance to you. And then yeah, living far away is very easy in Northwest Arkansas. Like I said, we have classmates that live in all of the cities, and when we get together, it's really not a big hindrance for us. Okay, things to do. Okay, so downtown Fayetteville is awesome. This is a picture on the square. So some great restaurant options are going to be Hugo's, Feed and Folly, Hammond Trees, Atlas, Taste of Thai. Yeah, there's plenty on the square and then just kind of right outside the square. Coffee shops, Onyx is going to be a great bet. I have a lot of friends that love to study there. Doomsday is great. Base Camp is one that there are locations in Fayetteville. And then we actually just got a base camp location upstairs at UAMS. So several of my classmates, like right before quizzes or exams, we will all like go up there and grab a coffee or a matcha or something before we like sit down and take a test. And then yeah, for activities, the farmers market is great in downtown Fayetteville. It's all right around the square, very beautiful, super fun in the summer. The Walden Art Center puts on performances. They sometimes have student discounts as well, so those can be really fun. Sometimes there's cool shows that will go through there. Dixon Street is a little bit more of like college vibe for sure, but it's fun as well. We've had some groups go down there. And then, like I said earlier, you can do just about anything on the Fayetteville Square. A lot of eating, some fun bars, farmers market. Yeah, just kind of everything. So in Bentonville and Rogers, I don't know why this picture is so grainy. That's again where that's where I'm originally from. So I've moved back there now that med school has started. Lot of restaurants in Bentonville and then a ton in Rogers as well. It's just kind of constantly growing with Walmart headquarters being there. A lot of basically new things every time I'm down there. But the Hive is really fun. Wright's Barbecue is great. Tuscan Trotter, Table Mesa, the press room. These are kind of all on the Bentonville Square, which can be really fun as well. And then again, coffee is great in Bentonville. Onyx headquarters is actually in Rogers. That's where this picture is. But then these are two other Onyx locations, the lower two pictures, which are also one's in Bentonville, or actually they're both in Bentonville. I have a preference. I think Onyx is the best, but Airship is great as well. They have some cool locations that are off the Greenway that you can kind of walk to. And I think they're building two new Onyxes like in the next couple weeks. Confident Coffee is another option. I believe they have locations in both Rogers and Fayetteville. So another cool study spot. And then for activities, Crystal Bridges is really cool. We have a medical humanities club on our campus in Fayetteville, and they have groups that go, I believe it's once a month, to do discussions at Crystal Bridges about the connection between art and medicine. So that's really cool. They also do like journal club and kind of discuss, again, more of the medical humanities. So that's a really cool group that got started this year by some of my classmates. Kohler Mountain is really beautiful as well. Lots to do there. 8th Street Market is it's kind of hard to describe, but it's in Bentonville. There's a lot of different like food options, and then they have some retail options in there as well. A lot of outdoor seating. I think they have shuffleboard in there too, which is really fun. The AMP has concerts, which are super fun. Honestly, a lot of big headliners. If you're not familiar, one of my classmates, I think, has gone to like 3 concerts this past year. She's a big concert goer, and she was trying to get a group of my classmates to go to Pitbull, who I think is coming in like October. He had like $30 tickets or something, so I think a group of us are going to go to that. And then the Pinnacle Hills area is great. The mall is there, so a lot of shopping. There's a mall in Fayetteville as well. So yeah, you kind of get all the big city perks without being in a super big city. Outdoor activities, hard to beat Northwest Arkansas for that. These are my favorite things to do. So the Razorback Greenway, I think, is up to like 55 miles now. It goes all the way from Fayetteville Square to Bentonville Square, and then I think continuing on into Bella Vista, I believe. So I tried to include, I think this is a recent map, but honestly, it might be even longer now. So, but yeah, biking, running is super fun on the trails, but fully paved, very wide. And then there's a lot of little shoot offs that'll have like little loops and things like that. So it's really beautiful. Mount Sequoia is a mountain area in Fayetteville that's got a really pretty lookout. Kessler Mountain is beautiful. Devil's Den and Hobbs State Park both have a ton of hiking and then mountain biking as well there. So those are beautiful places just to kind of relax. And honestly, pretty good all year round just because Arkansas doesn't get that much ice and snow. Beaver Lake is super fun. After our final, we took finals for my class last Thursday, and then Friday, my classmates and I all spent the whole day out on Beaver Lake together. So that was a really fun little way to celebrate the year. Lake Fayetteville is smaller for sure, but they've got a really pretty running track around it. You could walk it as well. It's like a little 6 mile loop that some of us have done, kind of as a good little study break because it's pretty close to campus. And then Lake Weddington, similar experience. You can fish, kayak, mountain bike. One of my classmates just ran the Bentonville half, and I think he's going to run the Fayetteville half. So he told me to add these to the list, but I am not a half marathoner. But still lots of great options. And then, yeah, as far as biking goes, there's mountain biking and trail biking, which I'm told by biking people is very impressive to have in the same area. So it's yet another perk. So, as far as life outside of medical school, I included things that I have done with all of my classmates. So, these are also just kind of the big Northwest Arkansas perks in general. So, Razorback sporting events are really hard to beat. It's just one of the things that, because we're both a college town and a med student town, you kind of get the best of both worlds and get to have a lot of great D1 sports. Several of my classmates this last year went to the U of A, so we went to a couple tailgates, and that was really fun. Just kind of way to unwind on the weekend. Like I talked about earlier, Crystal Bridges is a really beautiful art museum. They are expanding it. I think it's going to be open. They're opening like a whole new wing I want to say by October or something like that. So that'll be really cool. Some honestly some really cool study spots at Crystal Bridges. It's really quiet. People are just kind of making a lot of like little white noise, and it's very relaxing, honestly. The farmers markets, like I said, Bentonville and Fayetteville, a group of us got together a couple weeks ago now for one of the first Bentonville farmers markets of the year. It was a bring your dog day, so got to meet a bunch of puppies, which was really fun. First Thursday events are going to be on the Rogers Square, I believe. Those are kind of in the evenings. Vendors will come. It's cool. I talked about the AMP concerts earlier. Northwest Arkansas in general is really fun. This is the Geisinger. It's on the Fayetteville Square. It's a really fun kind of place to hang out. It's close to campus. And then all your own hobbies. So one of the many things about med school that I think I was scared of is that I was going to have no time for myself and just kind of lose myself in studying. And honestly, that's not true. You have time for whatever priorities you make. And for me, I like have certain hobbies that I really want to make sure that I maintain. Like being outside every day is something that I really try to make sure I do, whether that's like a run, bike, hike situation. And that has not been hard. I feel like every weekend there's something fun to do. So it's important to just kind of keep saying yes to those things, and to prioritize them. So yeah. Okay, that was it for my slides. Do you guys have any questions? I know when I was in your shoes, I had a bunch. And like I said earlier, I feel like at least for my class and the class above me, people that come to the Northwest campus are generally somewhat familiar with the Fayetteville, Bentonville area. So I didn't want to like jam pack a bunch of things that you guys might already know in a bunch of slides. But of course, I'm here if you have anything to ask.
I actually have a quick question.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
up?
It's Luke Jansky. Sorry, I don't have my camera turned on. I'm at the beach right now. But so I'm curious. Most of the classes are zoomed into Little Rock, right?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, yes, the short answer, for M1 year, most classes are zoomed into Little Rock. I should have included a picture of our classroom, but I forgot. But we have tables that sit in there. You can sit on Zoom when you're, like when class is going on, and you'll be live. They can see you. If you want, you can turn the camera off and they can see you too. In anatomy, you will be basically in person for all of your lectures. So we would all sit together, watch the lecture together, ask questions. We have little mics and it shoots out over the intercom that we have a question in Northwest. And so honestly, it feels basically the same as if a person was standing in front of you lecturing, because they can see us, we can see them. And then for all your classes after anatomy, honestly, most people are watching them online anyways. Like even if you lived in Little Rock, we in Fayetteville can see who's in like person in Little Rock and who's like actually sitting in the lecture hall. And it's not usually more than like 15 to 20 people. So again, your experience is basically the same. But you can still choose to come to Fayetteville campus and sit and watch it live in like on our campus, or you can watch it live at home or like in the library or something like that. But yes, to long story short, yes, you're zoomed in. Occasionally, professors will come to Fayetteville to lecture in person. Next semester for me as an M2, I'll start cardio, and Dr. Jensen actually runs it, and she is located on the Fayetteville campus. So all of mine will be in person next year for that block. But yeah, great question, Luke.
So I guess just going off that, I mean, how much are you really, I guess you're an M1, how much are you really at campus for besides anatomy and tests and quizzes? Like, I mean, are you just watching them mostly from home and just coming to campus when you need to?
That's a great question. Honestly, yeah, you could come to campus very little. We have events. It's usually about 3 to 4 times a week that are required to be on campus, whether that's like a quiz or an OSCE or something like that. I personally choose to study on campus most days. I like to see my classmates and the upperclassmen and just say hi. And then it kind of helps me make sure I stop studying at a reasonable time too, so I can go home and enjoy time with my family as well. But yeah, some people come very little and some people spend all day, every day there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, happy to help. Any other questions?
Hi, I'm Alicia. I wanted to ask, you mentioned you are in Little Rock right now, right? Is
Mhm.
that for research? And if so, like, what was that process? Kind of like trying to find housing there, trying to find like a position to be in, things like that.
Absolutely. I'm actually really glad you asked that question because that was something I was really curious about. So, when you come to the Fayetteville campus, they make it very well known that if you want to be in Little Rock for anything, they will take care of it.
Mhm.
So I am in Little Rock for a summer program. I have classmates that are doing research. They're not required, they're not in person for research with Little Rock faculty, but you could if you wanted to. I'm here for a 4 week anesthesia preceptorship. And yes, I am in a dorm room on on Little Rock's campus. So for my program specifically, they paid for it. So I am not having to pay for housing for the 4 weeks while I'm down here, which I'm really, really grateful for. But the process was really easy. I applied to the program just like I would if I was in Fayetteville or sorry, I applied to the program as a Fayetteville student the same way I would apply as a Little Rock student. And I got accepted and they worked it all out. Hillary O'Meary, who's on my campus, helped facilitate that a lot. So I signed a couple of pieces of paper and sent it her way, and she took care of the rest. But as a third year, when I'm on rotations, so like in the hospital, I will have the opportunity to go down to Little Rock for I'm the way I understand it, any rotation that I want to, and they'll help me either find housing or put me in a dorm like this. So yeah, as far as options go, really not limited when you're at the Fayetteville campus. It's sometimes a hassle to move all your stuff 3 hours away, but if you want to do it, they will make it happen for you.
All right, that's really cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions? All right. Well, like I said earlier, you guys have my phone number. And as soon as you set up your UAMS email, and you get your Outlook set up, you'll have my email as well. If you just type my name in. So, yeah, please reach out to me with literally anything. We, like as a SGA group, are working on planning some fun events for you guys during orientation because we're really, honestly, our class is super, super excited to meet you guys. We as a campus have a great like community feel like I talked about earlier. And we really are super pumped to get to welcome you guys into that. But if anything comes up before then, please reach out. There's also going to be a second Zoom. I believe, let me tell you exactly what it's covering. The second Zoom, similar to this, will be over just M1 year in general, like tips on how to be successful. I think we're going to walk through like a typical study day, what it looks like. I know something I was really curious about before I started was like what I needed to buy for study material. So I'll try to go through all of those things. But that will be the 17th. at this same time. So if anything comes up before now and then, feel free to shoot me a text or an email. But if not, I look forward to seeing you guys then, or later in August. So have a great rest of your night.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time.
We appreciate it.
Mhm.
Thanks.
You have a good night.